we've got the GoldRush stuff.
Yeah, Nipsey wants to have a chat.
Yeah, I mean, I had a chat with her.
Daddy's embarrassing me on stream.
Deborah, man, thank you for the tier 3 for 16 months.
And that guy.
Just in regards to kind of my access being removed from Sionis. I'll be honest. There's something not quite right about the way that she articulates herself. It seems to me that she's full of shit. I'll be completely honest.
I think she's full of shit too, because in my text she said, "Oh, I removed your access for security purposes."
She told me she removed our access because you removed theirs.
But the thing is, their only access that, like, I never fired them from the thing.
Yeah.
I just removed their what's it called, access?
Stash access.
Access to stash access, so that they don't steal the gold. Because past conflicts we've had with them, they've fired us from Pornhub. They've done this. They've done that.
So what I will say is, the 3 containers that they don't have access to are still full of gold bars.
Isn't it 4 containers?
I think there's 5 in total, is there not?
So there's...
Is there 5 or 6? I think there's 5. 2,000 bars in total. 400 per, no?
Yeah, 400 per.
Yeah, so every one of the containers that is GoldRush is locked with a padlock from GoldRush.
Yeah.
Has 400 bars in. The other containers, obviously with now we don't work as Sionis, we are not able to get in those.
And is it 3?
It's three were GoldRush and 2 were Sionis. Because I'll be honest, I was let in there yesterday to check.
Okay. Okay. So I'm okay. That means they haven't been skimming money on top of it.
Yeah.
From the last payment sent.
Yeah. So if you've received payment for 800 bars, that would make sense.
I got payment for.
So how much money did you receive?
1,200 bars.
Oh, so you got payment
1.8.
So maybe they did. So maybe there is 6 then.
No, if there is 6, that would be.
Because I believe there's 3 containers
that would be
full
only
of bars.
3 containers, no?
Yeah, so maybe they.
Because 1,200 is 3 containers.
Yeah, so maybe there is 3. Maybe there is 3 for Sionis and 3 for GoldRush. Ooh.
Okay.
Actually, they're kind of double stacked, no?
Yeah, they're double stacked.
So was there 10 containers?
Yeah, I thought there was 10. So 4 was Sionis, and then 6 were GoldRush.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
From what I thought.
Yeah, so the GoldRush ones are full.
So that means they are skimming. If they did all 4,
yeah,
for Sionis, that means they only sent me 1.8 mil, which is the equivalent for 1,200, but they should have sent me for 1,600. Unless they didn't do the other 400.
Yeah. So what I will say is, obviously the person that let me in, I mean, it was KJ.
Okay.
Obviously that we don't mention that because obviously I don't want to jeopardize his relationship.
Yeah.
He couldn't get in, to their storages. Like he doesn't have access to the Sionis storages.
Oh yeah, he just has access to refined, right?
Yeah. By the way, he did say that he would be happy to refine all of our stuff for free. By the way.
Love that.
But I'll be honest. The way that it basically she was stumbling all over her words, saying how the person that takes our gold doesn't want the gold anymore, and
just all of a sudden, huh?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
coincidental.
Sorry. All of a sudden, Pornhub stops buying gold, which would mean all of the other shops stop buying gold.
Yeah.
Obviously, I called her out on it, and I asked what the reason was. She was stumbling all over her words, saying, "Oh, she needs to want to have a meeting with you." I'm not really sure why. Like I said, they didn't want to discuss it with me. I don't know whether it's because she kind of already could kind of tell that I could see straight through her bullshit, because I don't think she had like anything. She definitely didn't have anything planned to say. You know?
Yeah.
I think she was caught off guard, and I don't. What it sounded like is that they're planning something, and they hadn't like spoken together yet to get the exact plan, and she didn't want to tell me too much. You know what I mean? Because then she thought,
Yeah.
like, oh no, well, yeah. So I don't really know. I think to apparently, you know, it was very, very tried to be pushed that we bought businesses into it. But at the end of the day, when you're trying to protect your losses, it's not really bringing businesses into it. It's just protecting what you have. And if you're saying that previously,
they're talking as if,
yeah,
they're talking as if. Sorry, go ahead.
if you're saying previously in conflicts, then they've removed you from businesses, then I'm not being funny. Then what you've done is you've just, you've beat them to it, and they're annoyed about that.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're talking as if they didn't prior 2 months go dry on selling gold, because it's pretty much been 2 months. They've been fully dry and getting rid of the gold.
Yeah. They only get rid of gold when they need money. It's very evident, you know.
Yeah, no, it's very evident.
So I'll be honest. I think they're now weaponizing a company against us, but because they can. But I'll be honest, 90% of the time they're just extremely lazy. You know, if they're not willing to get rid of the gold, then maybe they should, subcontract somebody that's willing to do it.
Yeah.
But then to
And
tell
that's the
me,
thing is, they got they have Junior getting rid of the gold now too.
who's Junior?
Not
Nobody
Junior,
can say.
sorry.
Antonio?
Antonio, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why those 1,200 bars got pushed. It's because Antonio actually did it.
Right.
But
I did do some. Obviously, I dropped the jewelry parts off to Jewel Dragon today,
okay, perfect.
and I've got to have a conversation with Mika later because she's interested in potentially setting up a similar deal for VLC.
Ooh, yeah, if we can get that, that'd be perfect.
We actually make more profit selling jewelry parts than we do making gold bars.
Yeah, it's just the jewelry parts are not as needed, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But obviously, Els was telling me that previously things like this have happened, and they've come back with a price decrease on what they could pay for the bars and
So
everything.
you think it's gonna be the same thing?
I think they're going to come back with. It just seems like, why else would they stop purchasing and tell me that the people don't want to buy? And then what's going to happen is it's going to come to a point where there's a backlog of gold bars. Civilians are going to have a lot, and they're not going to have any say on whether they sell that. They'll go and sell them for their new lower price. But I'll be completely honest, Patar. I think if they try and do that to us, it's a straight up no, and we never sell them a single fucking gold bar again.
Nah, I think we have enough money. We have enough resources. Let's figure out our own way to get gold bars out.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, if we never sell another gold bar again, Patar, how does that really affect any of us? It doesn't.
No, it
Tommy
doesn't.
owns the company, sat on 50 million. It's not like it's a problem. Even if we're selling jewelry parts and gold pans, we are still profitable enough to buy dust and nuggets and never have to sell a single bar again because of the margin on
thing
pans.
is, selling the pans, the margin of pans maintains us buying the gold and gold dust. But that's the thing is, what if we decrease the price of the pans, and then gold, what's it called? Pornhub would be flooded with the shitty chains and shit.
Yeah, although, but they told me she did mention that she was going to stop buying chains. I'll be honest.
What's the point of their business?
Well, that's what I mean, because I'll be honest. You know what it feels like to me? That they value their time. It's
Don't even wanna make the big
a lot
bucks.
higher price. So I mean, if they're stopping buying chains, the reason that they don't want to buy chains is because they don't want the logistics involved in moving them for the money it makes them. If they're only willing to move gold bars when they need money or when it suits, if they're trying to lower the price of bars and then going to feed us some story about how, XYZ, then to me it isn't going to fly. If they want, Pornhub to be profitable, then they need to continue to work with, to work with us in a way that it's profitable as well. Because at the end of the day, the only thing they're required to do is, I don't know, dispose of the gold bars however they do that. Obviously, I don't really plan on trying in regards to that. That's business. But if they, if they want to kind of take it down that route and continue to, try and push their weight around, then I'm sure, there's people within the Pornhub employment list that will be happy to, how do we say it?
Sing for some money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that being said too, like whether they sing, whether we have someone watching them, whether we figure it out.
I had an idea.
Uh-huh.
Denzel said it was a bit silly, but I still think it's a decent idea. So, back in the day, me and Sparky tested out a theory that if you call people up on an unknown number with a voice changer, they'll do pretty much anything. So, what we were thinking, well, not I, or what I was thinking was, if we can't sell the gold bars to Pornhub, if we just call up gangs in the city and say, look, if you give us 500k, then you'll be entered into this competition between you and other gangs, and you'll have the chance to win, say, 2 mil worth of gold. If we get more than 4 gangs worth in this competition, and then making profit on the 2 mil worth of gold, and you get rid of the gold and you make the money.
Yeah.
And I already hinted to the ballers, like, if something like this happened, what would you be doing? And he said he'd be down. You know what I mean? So I genuinely think if that got offered to people, they'd do it in a heartbeat.
I think I don't think it's a bad idea. I think for the future, but I think what we don't need to do is the thing is with doing that, and it isn't a bad idea at all. Like, it is a very good idea. I think that's something we can do in the future with maybe excess gold that we have. But what we don't want to do is we don't want to give the angels a reason to do what they're doing. Because you know exactly how they'd spin that. Oh, the GoldRush have done XYZ with the gold, which has forced us. We don't need to give them a reason to try and push any other narratives in regards to the gold, because you know exactly what it would be. They'd probably refuse to buy the gold off the group that won, because you just can tell by the way that they're moving.
That's not our problem, though.
Yeah, it isn't, but it does look bad from a business standpoint. I'm not talking about a gang standpoint. I'm talking about a business standpoint. Regardless of how you're upheld as a gang, you command that respect for your actions, exactly the same as a business.
No, the whole point is that it's anonymous. Like, they don't know that it's GoldRush giving them the gold.
Yeah, I mean, that might be, like I say, if it was going to be
bank transport or
it was going to be
shit,
completely anonymous.
Kind of.
I mean,
we could
that's
get somewhat.
Yeah.
If we can get in contact with other people who have done similar things before, I know there's been like transport trucks that have been hit before and the likes of that. If we could get people like that involved somehow, or we just use like a dune and put the gold in the back of that and dress up like some, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Also, so the storage issue is going to be fixed.
We're getting more storage boxes?
Yes, I'm going to get some. I'm not being funny. They can't put a hold on buying gold and then expect us not to need more storage.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do, the 4,000 storage things that we've got.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some of them, try and get them stacked behind UK Oil.
Ooh, okay.
And we'll be good for like another 20,000 nuggets.
Yeah. The thing is, if we maintain our gold supply, at least the material market won't crash. The material, like, because the thing is, GoldRush is a very delicate it's got a very delicate ecosystem right now, because the second gold panning stops, so do the materials, so do everything. It's not just the stupid gold that Pornhub is crying about.
Yeah, I think the thing is, what we have to realize is the angels, regardless of war presence and gang presence out there on the streets, they do have connections. They have relationships where people will listen to them. And just from the tone, of Lexi and how she was so vague, but also told me so much, you can pretty much tell that, like I say, they have the ability to be extremely malicious and petty when it comes to things not going their way. Regardless of turning, trying to push the narrative of, that I don't. We'll never know whether you took their access away before they removed your keys from Sionis. But obviously, she told me that the reason she worked out that you'd taken her access away is because they were trying to do more gold. I mean, but when has Lexi ever tried to process gold in the past?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't there literally a 2-month dry sprout
Exactly. So it does seem
until,
very suspicious after they've been shot down, that all of a sudden they're so how do we say it? They're so eager to
do
start
gold.
processing gold for
Yeah.
the Mandem.
That being said, if they do have access to 4 gold stashes, they did skim 400 gold bars off our hands. So that's what I'm trying to figure out is if there is 10 there and 4 of them are Sionis, that means they did skim 400 bars off our hands. And it just proves our point, you know?
Yeah.
But ay. It is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure we can figure out a different way to get rid of the gold. And if they want to whine about it and this and that and blah blah blah, make it long. We don't have to be friends with them. We can be cordial and just move on.
I think we need to realize as well, we never need to sell another gold bar ever again.
No.
If they want to play that game, we can play it too. And if they want to try and spin narratives that of whatever they're trying to push, we can just spin them back. At the end of the day, when GoldRush closes its doors, we'll be sure to let people know who are responsible for that.
Yeah.
If it comes to it. Because I will be honest, and I think you kind of feel the same way about it. I mean, I've not been necessarily involved with a company for that long, but when the profits are going towards T, for example, who has more money than anybody could ever dream of, I'm pretty sure he'll probably feel the same way in regards to people trying to snake him just so they're making more money on their end.
Yeah. That's the thing is, before the Angels used to buy the gold bars for 1750, right? So you could only imagine they're probably selling it for 2,000 to 2,000 something, right?
Yeah. So how long were they happy at paying? So how much? What did they use to pay for bars? Like, what's the bit of the timeline in regards to the gold?
They used to even buy them
situation?
from us.
Yeah.
The Mandem, they used to buy it for 2K a pop.
So why was it ever discussed that they would pay lower?
It was because it's coming in bulk. So it was 1750, so they could make their profit too. But then
Well, so 2,000. So how many bars did? So how long was it? Were they paying 2,000 per?
So that was when we used to do like jewelry stores and stuff. Up until even the day GoldRush was a thing, you know.
Right. So and then
That
when
must mean that they make profit from that, though.
So when GoldRush was created, they started paying 1750.
Yeah.
And what was the reason for that to drop to 1,500?
For them to do it efficiently and constantly.
For them to do it officially, so they could be bothered to do it. Is that what you say? So
yeah. So it literally was to start their. They could be bothered to do it and make more money.
Well, it's very evident to me when the supply of gold bars was very limited, they were happy to pay $2,000 per because the profit that they made on those bars was still sufficient enough for them to pay $2,000 per. So at 1750, I understand it dropping to that because the volume of gold bar would have increased. So fair enough. I mean, normally it works the other way, but
I was gonna say, surely it'd be if we give them gold bars, then they pay us more. Bro,
the problem
we're
is,
making them more money.
You say that, but the problem is if it requires manpower to move it, or to whatever they do with it, then there doesn't seem to be people that are dedicated to making that money. They don't seem to have anybody that will do anything for nothing. It seems to be everybody wants maximum payout for their time, which is something that in certain situations you got to respect of somebody, but not when all as it does is skim money off another company just to feed your own greed.
Yeah.
And then at what point did it go to 1,500? Was that what they told you there was to make it worth their time, basically?
Yeah, pretty much. It was pretty much because Liam gets rid of without Liam, Pornhub is a dead company. So so it's worth Liam's time. They wanted it dropped to 1,500 so they could pay Liam more.
Right.
Yeah.
So